What's up, guys? Yeah. What is up? Such a sweet dude. Yeah. Didn't quite go as we planned. Shit comes up. It is what it is, but you know. Figured I'd I don't know, come on here and talk with y'all and anybody else that wants to chat. Anybody else wants to join the fucking live chat? Knock yourself out. Sammy's badass. I think he was, can't remember, he wasn't like one of the first guys to submit on the page, but he was one of our earlier ones. And he's submitted like 3 or 4 different postings for us. So he's like a huge supporter of the page. Always cool as shit to talk to too. But We'll do something here in like the next couple weeks. I got a couple others lined up too. Waiting to hear back from John and Zach from Outer Heaven. I've been waiting for a while on them, but we got them. Josh Elmore from Cattle Decapitation has agreed to do one of these. I got to get with him soon. And Michael from Frozen Soul wants to do one. And then here at some point, me and Dreadful Goose, he busted my balls so hard when we played the fest. I was backlining as well. I can imagine. Oh, Sam from Frozen Soul. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Yeah, Dreadful Goose. We're going to get him back on here. I like to do one with him, Kevin Fassard, and Justin from Sinister Metal Guitars. But we'll at least get Goose on here for sure. That's my homie. You see. If the playing is annoying, y'all can just tell me to stop anytime. Nam? If I got an invite, that'd be cool. I'm nobody. I mean, they do have that. I guess NAMM does have that open to the public day or whatever, but I'm all the way in West Virginia. It's like clear on the other side of the fucking state. Clear other side of the country. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. I mean, probably not next year. One of these days I might go. From what I've seen online, that public day or whatever looks fucking insane. So. Huh. Register us as a media company. You and me are going to talk about this here in a little bit because that's intriguing. I'd like to actually try to, I don't know, make this somewhat legit if I can. I know everything I've read though, it kind of seems like you need to have at least like 40K or some shit for followers to really do anything. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll be able to get a membership and get badges. I guess I don't know how the whole thing works then. I thought it was like, well, I guess they do get all the YouTubers and shit get in there. Huh. It's not a bad idea. I am. I'm going to hit you up here soon. God damn. You're killing it with the advice today. Got the fucking Most valve. Now you're going to get me sent to NAM. Fucking Rob with the hookup. Let me see. What am I doing? Hail Rob. Because you don't necessarily have to show up a show or have to show to be there. You're sure as a non-exhibitor. That's cool. Have to check that out. Rob, you want to just join the chat, man? You're more than welcome. Not to put you on the spot or anything, but you know. Everybody peer pressure. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Everybody peer pressure Rob. Take your time. If it works. Not having the best luck tonight. God damn it. Speaking of parenting, just saw my wife pop on here. She's distracting the kids right now. Anybody got any questions? Anything you want to throw out there. You hear me play the same few riffs and licks over and over. Not sure how you request. Have I ever played a baritone? Yes. Got to play.
There we go. How's
What's
that?
up?
What's up?
It worked with you. Damn.
Yeah, worked from. Dude, it must be that whole NOLA, weather they have, being halfway across the country. Actually, no, they're closer to you than they would be me, I think, right?
Where are you at?
Sacramento, California.
Yeah, I guess they'd be. Yeah.
Closer, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, man.
Huh. Weird. Oh well.
So, yeah, coming live from my shop. That's my pneumatic retractable reel above my head.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. So, should I introduce myself? How's this work?
Yeah, go ahead, dude. Why not?
Shit. So, for those who don't know me, or maybe do, I'm Rob. I'm the owner of Arachnid Cabinets. I'm also the guitarist for Wurmflesh, and we are based out of Sacramento. Wurmflesh is on Comatose Music, and I started building cabinets because I couldn't afford a Mesa Boogie, and then after I built my first cabinet and realized the tools I invested in, I could have bought a Mesa Boogie. I said, shit, hey, I try to start making some money building these things. And here I am like 9-ish years later.
That's it.
So, but yeah, it's been a really good journey, man. It's, say that again? Sorry.
Hmm?
Oh, I thought you were about to say something. Sorry.
Oh, no. No, you're good.
Sammy was, I kind of want to stick with Sammy a little bit since he was just your guest, and I know it was kind of fucking up with the speed, but
Yeah.
Sammy, for those who tune in, Sammy really is that nice guy that you saw in that video in person. He lovingly got the nickname Uncle Sammy at a fest we played and that I backlined in South Lake Tahoe. I was asked to go pick them up last minute, like from Reno, from Tahoe. So I got to actually go drive, pick up Goat Whore from the airport in Reno. I'm like, holy fuck, man. I watched these dudes' music videos on Headbangers Ball 2 back when I was like 15 or 16. I'm about to hang out with these dudes for the next weekend and hour and a half, 2-hour drive coming back from the airport. So it was a pretty surreal experience. And all Sammy did was bust my balls. Like, these cabs better sound good, Rob. These cabs better sound good. and it was, and then I think I got confirmation when he kind of mid-set, like, started doing all this dive bar whammy shit. He's like, oh, just listen to that tone, so Black Sabbath. He just hits out this fucking natural harmonic, dives, and I'm like, fuck, man. So Sammy's a class act.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, dude, I follow the page, man, and I know you've been following me for a minute. I've been following you for a minute, man. Great work, dude. I mean, you've done everything from share like famous people's rigs. You just shared my buddy JW's rig from Tyranno Cannon. Yeah. So you're kind of you're doing the Lord's work, sir.
I'm trying, man. I want to. I don't know. It's kind of like, it sounds cheesy, but I guess like build a community. Like, yeah. Just a cool page. And we've done like, it was just like a week ago or something where I posted somebody's like just their office rig.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I don't know. I'm trying to get it away from being like super fucking pretentious and just, cool gear's cool gear. That doesn't really fucking matter how much it costs.
Nah, it doesn't. Like we were talking about with the Moss valve. I mean, sure, yeah. Dude. Would I love to have like $1,000 tube amplification, power rack in my system?
Yeah. Sure,
I would love that. But the tube, there's a lot of hidden gems in the gear community.
There is.
The Moss valve, that TubeWorks Moss valve, and I'll reiterate because our conversation's private, so not anyone else knows. But those are one of those things to where you go into any group that you can be a part of, and you post your rig, and some of these older cats are like, oh my God, is that a TubeWorks Moss valve? Those things were fucking great. I used to have one of those. The joke I make, though, is people who say gear is awesome and they don't have it anymore. I was like, if it was awesome, why'd you get rid of it?
People see the shiny new thing and they just can't help themselves.
Yeah, it's a shame with the community. And you're a pod user, right? Not quite the Helix, but you have like the gem below it. And
yeah,
I run a Helix because of that, man. And because I see so many people who buy these amplifiers and really nice ones, and they end up selling them and taking these large hits. And I'm like, what if I get tired of the Mesa Boogie sound? What if I get tired of the PV sound? All I have to do is kind of flip through a screen and pick the new amp that I want to kind of maybe tweak. And to me, I'm not trying to get a Mesa Boogie sound. I'm not trying to get a PV sound. I'm trying to get my tone, dude. You know what makes Wurmflesh sound like Wurmflesh and Rob sound like Rob? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good take on it.
Yeah. Did you sell that crate yet? Or is any hits on that?
It's gone. Well,
it's already?
It's here, but it's sold.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Like,
I remember those things back in, I feel like 9th grade. Yeah, that's cool. I feel like 9th grade, like 2003 or 4. I don't know if those things had just hit the market or if they'd only been out for a year or two, but I remember when those things first came out, I had a buddy get it, and everyone thought they were dope. Like, look at this small little fucking amp, like, right here. So how did that thing sound for you, man? I've never played through one. How was it?
I don't know.
Size never a good sign.
Like, so the volume was not an issue. I think it runs 150 at 8 ohm.
It's not bad.
Yeah. And I don't know if you know Jack Joseph or Jack Wolven on here.
Probably not, sadly.
He's from the UK, black metal dude. He's a fucking sweetheart.
Yeah.
Real good dude. Me and him were talking about it because he used to tour with it and the HX Stomp.
Yeah.
And just that. And, you know, he swore by it. I tried it through the front end, like he said.
Yeah.
And I've ran it through the loop, and I've done different configurations within the unit itself. And I couldn't get it to where it didn't color the tone.
Yeah.
I had a lot better luck running it through the return of my solid state amp head.
Yeah.
Can
imagine.
It didn't, like, I could even run the power amp simulation or whatever emulation, whatever. I didn't even have to take the power block out. I could run it just the same, and it was the same as if I just ran it straight into like my DAW or something.
Yeah. Man, whatever works. I think you'll be, as someone who plays brutal death metal myself, man. I went from, we talked about it initially, going with like a PA amplifier. And maybe just because I had bad experience with mine, maybe mine was cheaper than most. But my experience with a PA amplifier, though, is just, it's like you need 500 watts, class D or whatever a PA amplifier is, to remotely get the fucking balls and volume that you can get out of an 80 watt or 100 watt tube or MOSFET power section. And that was just maybe the more you're willing to pay for a PA amplifier, the better it's going to sound. But then, like, if I'm going to spend that kind of money on a power amp, if like I'm going to drop $600, $700 on like either one of those matrices or a QSC power section, I'm going to save a couple $100 more and go for gold and get a legitimate tube power section. But I don't have $1,000 to spend. My wife, I think, said would fucking castrate me if I would spend $1,000 on a power amp.
Like, oh, cool. We need new tires, asshole, or whatever.
Yeah, actually. Speaking of my wife, man, and I know we were touching on Nam, and that kind of is like what brought me on live. It's I know like what you said earlier, like you've heard you need like 40K to go to Nam. That'd be nice to have 40 grand to go to Nam. Are you shitting me?
Oh,
But
I meant like followers on like your social
oh
media.
no. So in order to Nam, I think just kind of want your money. Like they want to prove your business at least in one way or another. You being a media company, which is what would be the best thing to suit you, because that's what you do. You're more media oriented. You don't really sell a product. You more so have a service in selling in sharing people's gear, having people like Sammy on. So you could probably go in really cheap to sort of officially register yourself as some sort of media outlet. Um, you don't have to exhibit to go to NAM and be a member. You can go as a non-exhibitor, just pay your $230 membership fee, get your 2 free badges, and then 2 others they won't charge you $100 for, and then you go. And you would just do what you do. Take a camera, basically your rigs of death metal. So
Yeah.
you would probably, all the new Jackson gear, all the new pointy guitar shit, all the extreme metal stuff that you see there, even the borderline hardcore rock stuff, the pickup companies. And, it takes a lot more than cabs and amps to do death metal, man. The guitars and pickups, and people will love that shit. Be kind of the first-hand vision. So I feel like there's a lot of cheap ways. I hate using the word cheap because sometimes to me that means quality. There's a lot of inexpensive ways for you to be able to go to NAM professionally and have and not just be that dude that's a public, last day public figure. My wife let me get the booth and finance it, and it takes a pretty penny. I didn't have to have a lot of followers, but it probably helps that I'm the first year that I'm doing it solo, meaning I'm not sharing it with anybody officially. It's probably helped that I built a following. The product is where it's at now in terms of quality, the things I can offer. So it does help to have a good presence because now it makes it seem more worth it to be there.
Sure.
And it seems like you have quite a good following, man. I mean, hell, people have Josh Elmore from Cattle to Cap and Sammy, be on this. I mean, you're obviously making a name for yourself. How's that journey been, by the way, man?
Well, I don't know if you saw or anything. I pretty much just started it end of November of last year. So it's been pretty fucking quick and kind of surprising. The first few posts on the page are just shit that I pulled off of like Google or my own stuff. My first 2 real submissions, I believe, were Zach from Outer Heaven. He was the first big name, and the second was John Cook from Napalm Death.
Dope, man.
Like within a week. So I don't know how everybody. I follow a lot of people on my personal page, and I actually went through and tried to select anyone that I followed that might even be remotely interested in giving a shot to this. So maybe that helped. But I'd like to think, with a handful of people that have a little bit of notoriety, kind of helping spread the word.
Yeah.
The Outer Heaven guys have been super fucking cool. I talked to Zach and John both a lot, and sweetest dudes ever. And they've really helped spread the word. They've shared stuff. They've both made multiple submissions. Same thing with Michael from Frozen Soul. I'm trying to think. I think all those guys, and then Sammy are multiple submissions each.
Yeah, it's perfect, dude. I gotta talk to Sammy a little bit more because we did talk about doing a cab as well. So I gotta just I was kind of backed up at the time because for Sammy I would probably do it stupid cheap.
Right.
Just because the kind of guy he is, and we've gotten to talk, and that feels good. Isn't it such a weird feeling? Like these dudes you like watched growing up are like, I don't want to say becoming peers because it's like not that you talk to them every day, but they like there's like this weird level of you've respected them for so long, they've been this high on the pedestal, but then you talk to them and you realize that they don't really want to be up here. They're actually kind of more, as long as you're professional with them, they're professional with you. It's like it's kind of like a really good surreal realization, I guess. I don't know. Like, I didn't know I'd have some of these dudes' phone numbers in my phone at the age of, God, what am I, 32? No clue I'd be, like, having these dudes, like, in my Instagram that I could just talk to, or their phone numbers on, like, hey, what you want to do? You want to discuss whatever? And it's the promoters that I've gotten to work with, the people I've just gotten to meet from doing fests. It's, I don't know, it's a trippy journey, and I've just learned these dudes are normal. And like you said, every time they're a sweetheart. I'm just like, yeah, most of these guys oddly are. You would think with all the tough guy fucking imagery that the death metal genre puts out, these dudes just want to go home to their pets, their wives, their significant others. Everyone is real on just this crazy, mellow level in playing. So, you should definitely try to get to NAMM, dude. I know, so I've already registered. I got my booth. I don't get my badges quite yet, but they're all kind of dedicated to my artists. But I did ask them that
with NAMM,
I asked them if I'd be able to have more badges outside my 14, like if they're purchased. I think generally they're like $100 or something like that. But if you don't get registered this year, man, you want to talk about maybe coming to NAMM close to summer, I can get you some badge prices, and you can come under Arachnid if that would even interest you.
That'd be cool as hell.
Hey, Carricker Customs. So Michael Carricker, who's now watching, is my guitar tech. I'm endorsed by Foss Guitars, and I wanted a kill switch in it, and then with Michael putting a kill switch in it, he went super above and beyond and did a lot of just dope little things I didn't even really think were necessary. And he handled all kinds of shit on my guitar. And he's located in Rockland, so he's like Sacramento's kind of like LA. We have Sacramento, but then all these little sub-cities. And like I'm in Citrus Heights. He's in Rockland, which is still Sacramento. But Michael's dope as fuck, dude. Like I said, I trusted him 100% with this custom, one-of-a-kind German-made guitar, and he didn't steer me wrong. So shout out to you, Michael, man. I don't know if I don't know when he began watching. I just saw Character Custom pop-ups. So what's your main guitar, man? I see, are you playing like a Beast, or what's Warlock? What were you strumming on?
This one's a Beast.
I thought it was a Beast.
Yeah.
Right.
And I actually just got this back like a week ago. There's a couple things kind of fucked up on it when I got it. Like I installed the Marzio X2N. The nut needed filed, and there was like a screw that was like the head was stripped out for the button.
Ouch.
I don't know. There's a couple fucked up things. So I took it to our local shop, and they hooked it up for me and set it up in drop B, and now it fucking shreds.
Bro, that's what I play in. I am so I'm an anomaly. Since I play 7-string, I'm drop B, which, as we all know, on a 7-string, that B is actually natural. So I actually tune up a full step 1 through 6 to G flat standard, or G flat, which is F sharp, so whatever you want to look at it, at 432 hertz. I got the 432 hertz thing from a Doom friend. Imagine that, a sludgy rock Doom guy convincing me to tune to 432 hertz, right? Surprise. Those dudes love that tuning for some reason, and
interesting.
I'm not gonna lie, I love it. It's is like a weird bastard child of being almost really close to A or B flat. It's like in between that somewhere, but it's B still. It's and hey, there's JW.
What's up, man?
I saw his rig. Yeah, there he is. You shared his rig from Tyrannocan.
Yeah.
Jay used to be our bassist in Wurmflesh, and I think he just sadly couldn't commit, and family stuff, life happens, and I told him congrats on just seeing him back and playing. He's Jay's really fucking talented. As much as he wants to, you know, as much as I feel like he gets down on himself, Jay's a really fucking good bassist and dope guitarist all around. So,
Right.
yeah, he's like, why haven't you shared anything with the Rigs of Death Metal guys? Like, I don't know, we've talked, but then I realized you can't steal pictures from Instagram. Like, you can't, oh, I want to share this, and then download it and share it. So I was like, I should submit something. Fuck it. Boom. And
I'm not really big on just like reposting shit from.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like if it's a really really big, like I don't even have a way to contact them kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I'll pull something off of Google, like I don't know, like Pat O'Brien and his rig or something. Beyond that, I don't know. I feel kind of shady if I don't have it either submitted or get their permission at least.
You know what, man? I think that's a good way to do it, because you do see a lot of things where people like sharing, not my photo, not my rig, and this allows it to be a little bit more personable. And like you said, I really like that you're not like snubbing anybody. Well, you're not really a big name, so like I'm not going to share your submittal. But, like you said, Joe, anybody with a dope fucking full stack, half stack rig with, just dope gear, you're like, yeah, that's cool. I'll put it on, and that's cool, man. You never know who you're gonna cross that you don't think is somebody, but because you're just genuine and down to earth with them, they're like, hey, I don't know if you know, but I'm actually so and so. Thank you. And next thing you know, you're friends with someone that you had no clue was somebody.
I've already come across that on here, and I almost felt dumb. Brian Hoffman from DSI, one of the original DSI guitar players.
Yep, I know Brian.
He's on here.
Fuck yeah.
And I was like, he commented on something, and I thought it was somebody being really like sore about. I think I was sharing a custom guitar of someone's, and it was like an Ironbird shape.
Yeah.
And he commented on there. I don't know. It seemed kind of ranty and like pissed off, but I think I misread it at first.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, who is this? And clicked on it. And I was like, holy fuck, is this Brian Hoffman? And I just ended up messaging him, and like we just started talking. He's cool as fuck. He's got something coming up, and he's gonna submit for the page too.
Yeah, Brian. I lost contact with Brian. He got married and like moved to LA or something, and then he kind of hopped off social media for a long time. So I think me and him lost connection. But I've built, was it one or two cases? At least one. He needed a custom case for one of his guitars he was building, and I think, yeah, I forget if it was like his Scarab or something, but I built him a case, and like I said, he's super genuine. When I talk to people like that I know kind of aren't doing music anymore and they're gear making, I always try to keep our conversation towards the gear making. Yeah. I mean, bro, like Deicide is what fucking busted my death metal cherry, man. 8th grade, when Slayer was still kind of like the heaviest thing I had discovered, and I was skateboarding, and I was dabbling a little bit in guitar. Some friend says, you gotta come over and listen to this. It puts on Scars of the Crucifix.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, this is like 2001, 2002-ish or something. And I'm like after Deicide, the floodgates just opened, dude. And I mean, from Deicide, I got into Mayhem. Then from Mayhem, I oddly just like went to Cannibal Corpse. But dude, Deicide was the fucking like,
oh yeah,
you know, fucking what you call final nail in the coffin of my journey of finding a heavier, tone. You know, okay, that's heavy. Oh my God, this is heavier. Oh, that's heavier than fucking boom, Scars of the Crucifix. So when I talk to him, when I talk to anybody like that, though, I try to like, I fucking love you. I try not to fanboy too hard, but I do usually express some gratitude and be like, dude, like, you're like one of the biggest reasons I'm like doing this, or, and so like we just try to keep it gear oriented, you know. Not asking too much about what happened with Deicide, but you know, I think I did like. So I gotta ask, dude, like, you know, what, like, why couldn't you guys continue Deicide? And you know, when he tells you the things that eventually come out, like, sadly, like the name is 100% like Glenn Benton's ownership because he took care of the paperwork and stuff like that. And it's like, shitty. Or like, it's. Meeting your idols can be cool, and there's some people I've met that I'm like, you're not as cool as I thought you would have been. It's luckily that's really rare though. Like that's super rare. I meet someone or talk to someone that I'm like, you're kind of not who I thought you would be.
Right.
You know. Have you had any of those yet? Like people you like idolize, and when you start talking to them, you're like, okay.
That I've actually gotten to talk to, like, at a more personal one-on-one level. Not that I can think of. I've luckily been like just overwhelmingly nice people.
Yeah.
And I've got plenty of stories for almost any of them, including Sammy. And but I have been to a few shows where it was straight up like a vocalist or somebody in the band that kind of made an ass of themselves on stage.
Yeah.
That turned me off. Like, I remember one of my first local shows was, I don't know if you know the hardcore band Hoods.
They're, I think there's, yes, I do know who Hoods is, Mikey Hood, and they're Sacramento area as well. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, they used to be like one of my favorite hardcore bands, and seeing them live kind of soured it a little bit for me. Like, the singer was. I don't want to like talk shit, but at the same time, I don't really.
Don't say anything that'll burn any bridges, man. I'd always say, you know, just as vague as possible, right?
Yeah, pretty much. The singer didn't really care for the pylon. You know, like the mic grab pylon and stuff that.
Yeah.
That shows.
Yeah.
He didn't like that. He really didn't like it. I thought he'd be used to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It kind of surprised me. He got pretty angry about it.
Damn.
I mean, it didn't stop me from listening to him, and I wore a Hoods shirt for like years.
Yeah.
So it's not like I quit supporting the band, but I don't know. It kind of bummed me out.
I too have met some people, gear companies or otherwise, you know, that I've seen their work, I like idolize their work, and then they turn out to be really flaky people, and they don't like either flaky or they just post shit. There's plenty of gear makers and things like that. It's weird from not being a musician only, but to being like a business owner. How much, if you're trying to expand, how much of your tongue you really have to bite in order to succeed in the market today. Like you can't risk offending anybody. It's like a greatest example of like one of the more well-known things is like that pedal company who makes the thing for Steel Panther. It was like called the Pussy Melter. Yeah. And everyone fucking threw a fit over that. I mean, I'm like, I thought this was rock and roll and death metal, man, and extreme metal. Like, I understand, like the printed merch, man, I got kids, but, you know, I see dead baby corpse shit everywhere, man. And
Yeah.
I have to accept that. It is fucking brutal. It is
Right.
brutal, but as a gear maker, you can't have shit like that. You can't post your political opinions. You can't post your religious beliefs or non-beliefs. And I'm surprised that this is what I love about the death metal community, because my gear is obviously catered towards the death metal guys, and I think what you're doing as well is a good representation that I think the people who've reached out to you are because we're still it's still a very underrepresented genre in the commercial world. I mean, there's plenty of magazines that do love us. You got Kerrangs.
Yeah.
You got, Guitar World is getting better about featuring extreme metal musicians. You got fests that are housing some of the most extreme metal musicians. But we're still only like 3-ish, 10% of the population with the spectrum of what extreme metal is. Everything from fucking God, from your dying fetuses to your vulvodynias to your parasitic ejaculations to your Devin Townsends, which he still mixes his extreme metal shit in, and with strapping young lads. So we're still like a small, underrepresented 10% of the market, and I would think that if I was trying to build gear for to cater towards just the general population, being the death metal guy that I am, I think would be a little bit more impossible. Like the dying fetus shit, I'll sport my aborted nailed through a cunt t-shirt anywhere. I'll wear that at festivals. While I'm on stage representing my cabinet companies, I'll fucking wear that shit at NAMM, which I've done. I'll go to breakfast and walk by all these dudes in these business suits to the breakfast buffet and fucking nailed through her cunt, with the nun, the pleasuring her fucking eviscerated torso,
Oh, yeah.
But it's just you still have to be careful in some ways, but I feel that luckily we are a strong community, and I think it's helped me survive as well. First off, the things that I do are the craftsmanship is still universal, but the aesthetics are still I cater towards the death metal guys, even though I can do cat looking shit. So, but yeah, it's that's a shame though. Like I said, musicians when you meet them, they're not thinking about that shit. As a play musician, I used to probably not give a fuck what anybody thought I was doing. I would just post at random whatever the fuck I wanted on Facebook. But as a gear maker, I can't have those moments that you had with the hoods. Right. As a cabinet owner, I can look a certain way, but as soon as I open my mouth, I have to portray a whole different image. Okay, here's this dude with this dying fetus fucking shirt on, but he's obviously well mannered and cool headed. I have to be, dude. You can't isolate anybody because I'm not always just talking to death metal people. So question: what's been the? I was gonna say you've already mentioned it a little bit, but who are you looking forward to besides Josh coming on? Is he gonna share any of his shit with you, or has he submitted some stuff? But aside from just interviews, because you mentioned you're gonna have Josh Elmore on a video, right?
Yeah. We're gonna have him on here soon, which he's submitted a bunch of stuff for us before. I'm surprised his post didn't do a little bit better.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe because his rig isn't traditional death metal. He had his Cardinal copper top guitar.
Yeah.
And it's very unique, and he plays a lot of the high watt stuff, and I don't know. He just has a very different taste in gear, overall everything. From even he plays those those metal picks.
Yeah.
And the Sir Doug Aldrich pickups and all that. I think Dave Otero posted a really cool in-depth video on recording Death Atlas, going over every little minutia of Josh's rig.
Yeah.
But I fucking love his tone, and I've seen him where he was playing the Baron amps, and then I've seen him where he's playing his high watt, and I mean it's insane.
I like he's got the I feel like the evolution of Cal Decapitation is like one of the craziest evolutions sonically. If you listen back to like Human Jerky, and then all the way up to, you know, Death Atlas, the Anthropocene Extinction, etc. Like, I mean, those are like night and day.
Yeah.
And like, not just orally, like the production, I mean, the song execution. And you got to give it up to you got to give it up to him being somewhat picky. He knows what he wants. Not to name drop, but like Travis has been in my shop picking up custom Death Atlas or Boris plates for me, and we've talked online, and I have played twice with Cal Decapitation, both Fest Side Backline, and I have seen them a third time. Actually, I've seen them 4 times. Twice played with them. The third time, I was just providing a backline at Bay Area Death Fest 4. And generally, the other guys have been pretty cool about like using the Arachnids that are on stage. But Josh will lug his cab up a flight of stairs to use it. It's generally not a sign, I've been told, that, you know, he doesn't think your shit's not good. It's just he is so specific and blinders on when he, like, this is his tone. This is what he has spent hours, you know, tweaking, you know, to get what he knows will produce the best possible live tone. So, can't fault the dude at all for sticking to his guns with his gear. So kudos to him. I'm trying to think of the most interesting things I've seen rig-wise from some people. I was gonna say, actually, who do you think has the most interesting? Out of all the people that you've like posted, who do you think has the most interesting rig in terms of uniqueness and everything else?
Unique.
Yeah.
Shit, man. I'm trying to think. Because we posted quite a few at this point.
Yeah, you have quite a few posts under your belt for sure.
I'd say I'll throw this out. I always think it's really cool when somebody's able to kind of blend like the digital thing and analog thing. And like they might, like, I think Carl Sanders has a really, really sick setup where he's getting the majority of his tone from, like, I guess Ingle now, like his Ingle Invaders.
Oh, really? He switched over from like the Marshalls to the Ingles? Because he's been a Marshall guy for forever.
Yeah, I used to have the same Marshall, the DSL, or the JCM 2000 DSL.
Yeah.
I had that same amp for a good few years, and yeah, he switched to Ingle Invaders, and he uses an Axe Effects for, I guess, cleans and leads, but like anything with effects, basically. Yeah. He switches over to those, and he does like a wet, dry, wet, or something like that, or dry, wet, dry, something. Like he'll split it among like 3 different cabinets and shit.
That's crazy. That's a lot more work than I'd want to do.
Well, if you can afford people to carry it around for you, more power to you. But that's that's getting to that level where if you don't have roadies, then fuck that. If you can't logistically make it happen in a sensible way, I wouldn't even dream of it.
Yeah.
But if you could, I mean, you know.
Dude, I felt a little bit humbled by a post. Someone asked in like heavy metal amps and pedals, because the photo I submitted to you for the Wurmflesh and my rigs. Someone's all like, what do you or your roadies think? Because I got, sadly, some really shitty, thin 10-space rack units for my shit. So like, how do your roadies think those hold up? I'm all like, I don't know. Curtis Riley, what do you think? And Curtis is my bassist, so basically calling me my roadie. Like, Curtis, what do you think of these things? And but I'm like, man, someone assumed based off my gear that we have roadies. That's humbling. Someone thinks my
Right.
gear is professional enough to have someone lug it around for me. So I'm like, that's a first question. Like, how do you roadies like those things? I'm like, bro, you should like follow me a lot closer. You'll realize that we are
Yeah.
still humping it ourselves.
I guess either
But,
that or they just think every band has roadies. I don't know. I guess they.
oh God, that would be nice, man. I mean, could you imagine having someone intern for you? Like, yeah, you want to be an intern to being a roadie? Just
Yeah.
fucking come out here, take no money, and just help me get my shit on stage. You better learn how to fucking hook it up right.
Right. Oh God.
So, our that's so crazy to hear that he does all that. I really think it's crazy that does he have a rack axe effects, or I hope he's using like a floor
He
because
has a rack.
that's a really expensive unit just to handle effects, man. I mean,
Dude,
like you
fucking
said, you have
Bill Kelleher from Mastodon was using the rack mount Helix
yeah.
just for effects.
Dude, you could get like an HX stomp. It's like all the same processing because that's didn't you say you had an HX stomp as well? Or
So I got the Pod Go, and
yeah,
it's the same amp and effect models as the Helix.
yeah,
It literally uses all the same shit as the Helix.
fucking man.
The only difference is it doesn't have nearly as much DSP. It's
Yeah,
as far as processing power, it's actually probably even weaker than the Stomp. Um,
that
where
comes with technology and upgrades.
like
Yeah,
it's got a semi-fixed signal chain.
yeah,
Like you always have, and you can bypass whatever you want. You don't have to have these running all the time, but like the amp block, it has to be an amp block. You can buy
yeah.
in the cab, same thing. You can bypass them in and out as you need to, but like you basically have a volume wah, amp, cab, and EQ, and that's all that those blocks can be.
That's
And
all you really need in those things, man.
but then you also get 4 blocks that can be whatever you want.
Yeah,
And I was thinking about getting the Stomp XL just because it has the same number of switches. Form factor really wouldn't be much of a compromise, but the biggest difference between the Stomp and the Podgo is you get a little bit more flexibility in routing on the Stomp.
yeah.
You can do parallel routing. You can't do that on the Pod.
No, it's so true. So that's what I love about the versatility of the Helix. So the photo I sent you. So you saw we basically have like a PA on top of my rig, and that's just kind of handling our room. But if you go down that rack, the first 10 spaces is just my Helix and my shit.
Yeah.
Power conditioner to literally a 2-space rack drawer. Underneath that is the band's PA, so to say. There's a power conditioner, the Alesis DM5, which is my drummer's trigger brain. There is a 2-channel in-ear monitor receiver, and we have the packs for that. Underneath that is my in-ear monitor receiver. I have a Carbon IEM, like 900 or something. And then under that is a PreSonus rack mixer, and we use that to input all kinds of shit, dude. Everything from the triggers, a snare mic, my Helix, and this is what I love about the Helix, going back to the routing abilities. My Helix goes to the BBE Maxcom into the TubeWorks MOS valve, which you just purchased, then out to my cabs. I have an XLR that's going to a Mackie DL806, which is a recording interface that you use an iPad with. And so I already have an output going to that at all times, which is just the Helix signal, nothing to do with the MOS the BB Maxcom.
Right.
And then from there, I have my signal going out into the rack mixer. So like I have so many outputs.
Yeah.
And it wasn't you don't hear a deterioration of signal, which is really nice. Like, you don't hear, well, because I have the signal outputting a million places. I'm lacking something, like I've lost low end or I've lost high end, or it's just all kinds of crosstalk. Like, dude, the routing capabilities are fucking great, and that's what I love about it. It goes to everything I need for live and everything I need for recording, and then everything I need to go play live. And it's just, it is dope. If you were gonna upgrade for anything, I would say it's the output routing. I mean, you can have shit going. If you kind of record at your desk that you're at or wherever you're at, you can leave it in one place, send it to your cabs and your amplifiers, and then send it to your recording interface. You never have to move it, man, and you'll get just as fucking good signal clarity with it outputting the things. It's dope, dude. I would highly recommend it, and the technology is only getting better somewhat sound-wise. Like, but I'm also a firm believer that you can tweak anything to sound good. Like, you know, it's not about the tools. It's not about the tools. It's the craftsman using the tools. You know.
Yeah. I mean, up until I got this thing, I was strictly, and in every band I've been in, it was, well, for the longest time, it's been my Mesa dual rack, and a tuner, a TS9, just a regular Ibanez TS9, and a Boss noise gate, an NS2. That was it.
Oh man, don't let Sammy hear you using the noise gate, dude. You might want to edit this out, dude.
Oh yeah. What's funny is I got like 4 pedals coming my way that are being built right now.
Yeah.
And one of them is a noise gate.
Who are you going through for your pedals?
The noise gate is going to be my second pedal from Michael Klein.
Nice.
That's my boy. Cool as shit. I've never had like that good of an experience with anybody. He wants to get in depth with your gear and your style and everything.
That's how it should be, man. Especially building custom anything or offering a level of customization. You kind of like, that's how I have to be too. Like, what are you playing? What kind of guitars are you using?
Yeah.
Because I might have to figure out how to cater maybe the speaker choices I use aren't the best. Maybe you need something that handles a little bit lower frequencies. Maybe we need to dive into professional series speakers versus bass or guitar speakers. But yeah, so what you were saying, man, about how he really dives into like the tone you're trying to get out of it, like what you're running with it.
What was it?
You were saying how he really dives deep into like the core of your sound and what you're trying to get and do to build the pedal around you. That's cool. That's super dope.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So you got the noise gate coming. What else you got coming?
I've got 3 pedals from Lone Wolf Audio coming.
Nice. Joseph.
I love Joe. I mean, people give him shit for like just online bullshit, like without actually getting to know him.
Yeah.
Like I bought an Outsider straight from him a couple years ago. Me and him have, we've had pretty regular communication for a few years now. I don't know. He's fucking hilarious for one. He builds cool. He says
cool things
shit.
I don't think I could ever say online. Just because what I build is sadly a lot more expensive, so to say, and I'm still trying to get up and kind of like, I don't think I have the liberty to say everything that I have on my mind quite yet. But yeah, he is funny. I've talked to him privately too. What I love about him. He's kind of in the same boat as us, man. He is business is business. I'm here to build for anybody, but at the core of it, like the music in death metal is super fucking.
Yeah.
It's such a huge part of how I catered my product aesthetically, and it's obviously how he does it too. So I like that he's at the heart of it. He has the musician in mind. He's not just trying to make a buck. He wants your shit to be grindy and good. He wants you to. He cares about your tone. That's what I've gotten out of him. He wants nothing but the best for his product. And people give him shit. Most have said things like, well, he can't drill holes straight or some shit like that. And he brought that up in a chat. He's like, people bitch about these holes not being straight. It's like, it's me and my wife doing this. It's like,
right.
He's like, you'd think after you've been drilling the fucking chassis on 100 pedals, you might get one off center. He's like, what the fuck, man? Come on.
Right.
And the hustle of him doing it with him and his wife, I commend that. I wish I could get my wife in here to sand or do something.
Yeah. I feel you.
Just sand, honey.
My wife. What is it?
I was just making an anecdote about my wife. Just like, come in here and sand, babe. Just help me out with something.
Oh yeah. My wife, she kind of helps with like the page a little bit. Like she'll check stuff for me here and there.
Yeah.
But if somebody's like, if there's any actual communication though, it's me and only me. So.
Yeah. It's sometimes it's hard doing it yourself that way, but sometimes, depending on your personality, sometimes it's nice to have 100% of the control. There's not a million different people, like you deal with a band, it's like the telephone gig, like relaying a message from a promoter or another band trying to get you on the bill and then like explain it to everybody. Sometimes I'm like, let's just create a little quick chat, add this person, and everybody can fucking hear it, because I don't want to be the dude who forgets to relay a message. I don't want to be the dude who relayed a wrong message.
Yeah.
And I also don't want to be the guy who has to reject the promoter. Like, oh, we can't do this. And because I'm kind of like the face of the band. My bassist does a lot of work too, but like everyone's kind of like, if they want Wurmflesh to do something, man, they hit me up, and which means if we can't do it, I'm also the one letting them down, and it really like tears at me if like we can't do it. It feels like I'm personally denying or turning down whatever. That's what sucks about that sometimes. But with a band, you can't help but having 3-4 extra people to answer to. It's like a marriage,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, with Wurmflesh, or with Arachnid, at least it's like it's me. I make all the decisions. If I'm broke, it's like if I can't afford to do something, like if I can't afford to go to NAMM, that's cool. If I can't afford to do something as a company just because travel or the expenses would just are out of my reach, I don't have to, that's on me, luckily. I hate explaining to people why other people can't do stuff. I don't know why. Like we were supposed to go to Arizona for a 2-show run, and my drummer's work revoked his vacation that he put in like a year in advance. They moved their inventory dates to the week we were supposed to go to the show.
Ah, shit.
And I had been reassuring my buddy Jeff from Cranium Radio, who I sponsor as well, like, no, man, we're on. Everything's game. We're good. Yeah. And then a handful of weeks, the drummer drops all that information. I was like, I can't go. Basically, it's inventory week. I don't think they threatened to fire him, but I think they said some shit to him that was like along the lines of he may not have a job to come back to if he takes his vacation. So I told my drummers, you need to contact Jeff, not me. I'm not going to be the one letting him down, dude. I'm not going to be the one who looks like I'm failing him. And he understood, and so that's like you said, man, you being the one who handles all the communication end, even though your wife helps, it's good knowing that it's kind of a one-man show, so to say, and that control is not a bad thing to have in certain instances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. But well, dude, I actually kind of hate to cut this short a little bit, but
No, sounds good, man.
I think I actually gotta run out and get dinner for everybody. But
No, I can't let my kids rot their fucking brain on TV too much. But I appreciate you having me on, man. I mean, we got to talk a little gear, talk a little bit of musicians, business end, and DM me, man, for more information for NAMM on, and I'll probably send you some links on how you can go there as maybe a media outlet. So in the future, you don't have to rely on someone else to badge you in if you want to go.
Yeah.
You just pay your membership fee and then get in. But like I said, we'll talk about that over message, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I appreciate this. I'd love to do another one of these when I got a little bit more time.
Absolutely.
Because I got plenty more stories. I'm sure you do too. Plenty more.
Oh yeah. I have plenty of stories. I got plenty of stories about being burnt. Really good fest stories. I'm gonna share a story with you privately. It's a funny one about Sammy since we were talking about. Yeah. All right, man.
Later,
There, dude.
Later.